Hello, welcome back to another RC Cars Weekly, and this is the review after running review of the Tacon Soar Buggy, sold exclusively from Nitro RCX. So I'm just going to recap a few things from the previous video on the unboxing. If you want to go more in depth on that, I think it's like 25 minutes. We actually have the only unboxing of the Tacon Soar video on YouTube, so...
After Nitro RCX's weird one, but...
Yeah,
it's
so
all sponsored by Nitro RCX.
We pride ourselves in that. Okay, so this is a brushless four-wheel drive. Wasn't it almost ready to run? Or no, it was fully ready to run.
Yep.
It was $169, I think.
Yep, with tax, depending on where you live.
$200
roughly
like,
200.
14
scale.
Yeah. So yeah, this is pretty much it. Oh, beautiful. Okay.
Pretty much, it was really good for the value because you get aluminum chassis, you get a brushless motor, you get actually digital servo, which is really good. I think Metal Gear digital servo. So nice shocks, big bore. I think it's big bore. For its price, it's really good.
Well. The material is good, but maybe the actual performance isn't that good.
Like first impressions, it looks amazing. Like you think you got such a steal. Yeah, there's the body. It looks really nice. We think
this piece of crap is crap.
It's the radio that comes with it. We've had problems with the battery. It doesn't even work. The batteries. It's really messed up.
That's probably just ours.
It has on/off, dual rate, and I think that's all it has.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll start off with value. How much was this car? We already said $169 without tax. I think in some states they don't actually charge tax. You lucky. We're in Canada, so it was like $3,000 to ship.
Alternatives, there's not that many actually out there. I looked around for a really small, like spunky.
Yeah, wasn't there like the Losi Mini 8, but it's like twice the price.
It's a competitor to Losi Mini 8, but it's just it's not as well.
It's a lot better value, but it's not well known. So like, you will not find this part in a local hobby shop. Like
you will not find on eBay. It has
unless you live right next to the headquarters or factory of Nitro RCX, you're not gonna find this. Okay, so some similar alternatives. The Losi Mini 8. There's a photo right there.
So first of all, to start with breakages. How about that? We've actually had only 2 breakages in about 2 months, and I've driven an okay amount. Not super intense driving, but like there were some jumps.
Did, like if you see a jumping video like that, we did that. For 10 straight minutes, we did that more off camera. Like that's pretty intense for that small car. Smashing into that line that's randomly hanging there, flipping, getting hit by dirt. Like that puts a lot of stress on this, especially if it's continuous.
Exactly. So we actually took off some jumps too that made for 10.
Like I would say that we put this car through quite a bit. Like we didn't do mega jumps that put the car into orbit, but I would say we did like a medium.
First breakage, as you can see, is tails. Actually, sorry, the second breakage. That was about after 25 medium-sized jumps with a couple bad crashes. Finally snapped.
Yeah, the back part's not a big deal. Like if you're going fast, it will add tons of stability if you have the back part. But like, if it breaks, you can just take it off.
Second breakage is in here, actually. It is one of the axles. We have the broken one right here. It was actually, I took it off an 8-scale jump at full throttle, and sadly, it didn't quite make it. It just cut it short and hit the front of the hit like the nose, and I guess somehow it broke. So this is also what it comes with, a really crappy charger, which is like 0.1 milliamps or something. A really bad NIM. You're not going to enjoy this car if you have a NIM and this kind of charger.
Yeah, so you need some stuff out of the box. You don't need it, but like you need it.
Yeah. Another thing we have is that this battery is what I use.
This is the golden battery. Okay, look. This is the Venom 2000 milliamp 20C 7.4 volts, so 2S LiPo battery. This fits absolutely perfectly. Great value. I think it was less than $20.
Yeah, I think it was actually only $20. It fits beautifully, like Will said, as you can see.
Yeah.
It fits wonderfully. The only thing you have to do is change the connector, but I'm sure your local hobby shop can do that. Or if you're good with the soldering iron, go ahead, do it yourself. That's what I did.
Okay, how much were the price that we broke? The axles, I think they were $2 or $3.
$3, exactly.
But, okay, here's the thing. We live in Canada, so the shipping was absolutely ridiculous. We don't even recommend this car if you live in Canada. Like, it was like $30 to ship this $2 thing that you could have put in the letter mail, and I could have shipped this across the country to the U.S. FedEx next day or same day for probably a tiny bit more, $50. Probably less than $30 actually.
And it came in 3 weeks, which is ridiculous. It was called express shipping, and it comes in 3 to 5 weeks, and that's just not right. You have to fix that. So we don't have the replacement for the tail, but we're getting that soon.
How much was that also?
I think you have to buy the body and the tail again. I think it's like $8 or $9. But then you can, if you're in the US,
we actually
you can buy
recommend
the spare parts.
watch the whole video. We'll outline some of the weak parts. Buy those parts along with your order. $2 added onto your order is literally nothing. Just it's like taking out half of your Starbucks drink one day. But like in the US, they actually have a special shipping service called Part Saver. I think it's like $5, and they'll ship it like in under a week. They'll ship the part.
We bought this right off the bat, but funnily enough, the comment said this is the part that broke for them.
We recommend buying this probably.
Just in case. Once again, this is like $2 or $3 or something. It's how amazing how cheap everything is. We haven't actually had any spindle problems. They're a little scraped up, but nothing major. Another thing to outline is that, so one of the things is that many people have found this battery that works, and we agree it's a great battery, but nobody's really found a 3S for it, and or at least don't tell people what it is. I looked through like Hobby King, Tower Hobbies, all these companies, and I finally found one which I thought would be perfect. It's this one here. It's a Fly Zone battery. Sadly, even the specs must have been wrong, or I got my bad info, because the problem is that it doesn't actually, in fact, I just pick this up, doesn't in fact fit. You'll see it is 4 inches long, so it fits this way, but not this way. So we weren't able to use it, sadly.
So to modify this, you could, I guess it's pretty easy. You just take it off or something, or duct tape it around. But it's not practical to buy a 3S. Like, this car is not meant for 3S. The ESC can handle it, but we drove it. I don't think we have footage, but it, apparently is ridiculous.
And 2S is plenty. Any kind of course you're on, 2S is going to be more than enough.
Yeah.
This is just for a crazy speed run that will take 30 seconds to accomplish.
It'll probably flip. It's so light, it'll probably start flying.
This is exactly like any kind of, powerful 8-scale buggy. It'll start wheeling and backflipping like crazy.
Yeah, it's, ridiculous.
So that's not necessary. Another thing I found interesting, I've had this for a couple years. It was an old chassis I had, back here. It's this old Brahma 10B. And I had this motor combo I bought, and it came with this programming card from Hobby King. And I found out, amazingly, it actually works. So
it's a Hobby King ESC.
If you have, it is 3 branded. If you have this, just a heads up, this will work with the Tacon. It's the same things, value, and item, and you just change it. It's super easy.
Okay, next, how much we value the car? I'd say that they got the pricing a bit, we thought it was a real steal of a deal when we found this car.
Yeah.
It's a really good value. So I would say we value this around maybe 180.
Yeah. It probably, it's hard to say because aluminum is very nice, but the quality of the plastic is not. It's very cheap, it's very flimsy, but it actually is held up pretty well. So maybe same price, 180, maybe a little lower.
So if you make a 2.0, price it a bit higher.
Yeah, price a little better because you'll get people buying this once the brand name has started to become a little more popular.
Yeah, and try to make this part available in a few hobby shops. Start talking to Tower Hobbies and that stuff. Okay, so
driving, like we said earlier, 2S.
No, we're not driving yet. So total cost of the car with everything you need to run. Hobby King. Luckily, Nitro RCX. They actually have a remote called the Fly Sky GS33B or something.
GT3B.
I think it's $30, and it is. We actually recommend this. If you're gonna get a remote and not willing to spend any more than $100 on it, this is the remote to get. The receivers, you can find them for less than $10 on eBay, free shipping.
Here it is. It is the Fly Sky GT3B. It has a screen, which is amazing. I have this, as you see here, tack. It works perfectly. It's comfortable in your hands. It's $30, like I said. And we've bought receivers from eBay. I think we bought 6 of them for $8 or something.
No,
and it's actually what I use to drive it.
You can buy 3 for $20.
That's one thing I've changed. That is the receiver of that remote. It's not
Like,
the
the
one
receiver
that
is
goes with
super small. It's amazing. 2.4 gigahertz. It is virtually infinite range. It has more range than
here's
you
the
can
one that
see
came.
it.
This is the wrong one. Here's the one that came with it. Little crappy little one that I actually found the antenna, as you can see here. It broke on mine. It had a bigger antenna. It broke again. But like you said, just get that. It'll make it so any car you have. It has setting 10 model memory, so it'll get 10 cars.
Yeah, you can put 10 different cars on it, and it'll save all your settings and stuff. So we definitely recommend that. And I guess that's pretty much for the value. So out of 10, we are going to give this 9.
Besides 8.
Okay, 9, 8.5.
8.5.
8.5. So this car is an absolute steal for the value, but there's still some improvements, which we will highlight later. So that is the end of the value section. Okay, now for the driving. So how did the car feel?
I'll start off by saying, on road, these tires, they don't look that great. They have a lot of traction on road.
Yeah, like you could try drifting.
It's tough to drift the car on a nice road. A pavement. Another thing I will mention is that it's definitely got more than enough punch to enough torque. When you want to go, it'll go. Braking is also very good. It's like instantaneous, and I didn't have to change at all the settings of braking. Shocks, super stiff. I will mention that. As you can see, a drop test. If you can do a bit of a drop test. Like, it's just super stiff. Like, they're almost like for racing.
This car did not bottom out when all of our other cars, yes, they are heavier, but the shocks are like 15 times bigger. Those bottomed out while this kept staying. So, like, in theoretical, this is the perfect jumper.
This is the Forza. This is its stock. It bottoms out right away. This one here, and the shocks are so much bigger. This one here, it just doesn't bottom out. It's ridiculous. So any kind of jump you do, it's amazing. It lands it like perfectly flat. It's a very good jumper, super stable in the air.
Okay, well that's in driving. Okay, we'll go over that. Oh, we are in driving.
Yeah, braking, like I said, brake. Air control, the motor, I will agree. It gets a little hot, so...
There's no heat sink on it.
Yeah, it's not an uncomfortable hot, but it's definitely not like, you're not going to like want to drive it for an hour.
Well, the battery will run out.
One of the problems why is that because this body is so tight on it, almost zero airflow gets in, but it's a very slick body and works very well. Bodies had no problems. It's laying on the body many times.
Okay, so how powerful did it feel? This thing is very powerful for its size. So we probably could manage to get a standing backflip. Acceleration is amazing.
With like a 3S.
Since the tires are amazing, it gets tons of traction.
Off-road, it's not so good off-road, even though it's meant to be an off-road buggy. But there's no real tires to change it to, we know of. But they'll work fine for light bashing in the forest.
Yeah, maybe like dirt, like loose dirt would be fine, but like over leaves, this thing it doesn't do anything.
Grass, tall grass or leaves or any kind of mudding or anything like that, you're done. You should not have this car for that. Okay,
so for top speeds, what would we estimate? We don't have exact rating, but like
it'll seem different from their exact number because it's a lot smaller, so it looks like it's going a lot faster.
Yeah.
But it definitely competes with many cars that are bigger than it. We don't. They'll probably try to get a better.
We don't know the exact speed. We'll probably put some in a later video, but okay. So turning, it's perfect. Like
it's super fast. Like it says, it's a digital solar. I forget the name of the servo. It says right here, it's a D655 solar. It's from my RCX. Super fast. Does the job great. Hasn't broken at all. Or most like cheap cars service break instantaneously.
It's great turning. Braking perfect because the tires are traction. Did we do some traction rolls sometimes? Like did it?
Yeah. If you do full throttle and twist it sideways, it will flip. But almost any car will flip if you do that. So it's not going to be the miracle car, but the tires are definitely, for a stock car, very good.
Okay, air control. Since the car is very streamlined and designed to go forward smoothly, you can't really control it. Like you probably won't be able to do flips in the air unless like you take it off the jump or anything.
You could, like, it's the problem.
But, like, you can change the angle, like, quite a bit. Like,
you could cut little holes or something, but it would ruin the look. But if it really is overheating, I think you just cut a couple holes and it'll solve the problem.
What? No, we were doing air control. Okay.
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about, air control. Air control and,
air control in the air while you're jumping.
Oh, okay.
Disregard all that he said. Off-road rating, 1.
No, 5.
No, not 5. Like 2 or 3. Like it, you can't. It's not possible to drive on leaves.
Yeah, but
grass, it's
dirt, yeah.
very
Dirt,
hard.
yeah.
Grass
Dirt,
is
yeah.
very hard. Dirt, it's like
that's okay.
for
Loose,
carpet tracks and loose dirt, it's actually pretty good. So I'd say 3 or 4.
yeah,
3.5.
3.5, 4 maybe. It's hard to tell, but it's kind of disappointing because it is supposed to be an off-road. But when you look at this thing, it doesn't look off-road anyway.
It's so small.
It's not gonna do. It's not. If you're looking for a bashing car, it's not the car to get.
Yeah.
It's if you're looking for a
and
fun,
in our unboxing video, some guy said to get 10 weight oil. Shout out to that guy. Like these shocks are perfect. Like this car is not meant to go off road. So for what it is, an on-road jumper and speed run, the shocks, like the shock weight and everything is absolutely amazing. On road, like 7, 8.
Yeah, sure. That's the thing we're using for on roads. He wants stiff socks. You don't want socks that absorb a lot of impact. You're not gonna be bashing a whole lot with this thing.
Yeah, but it's pretty much like the perfect jumper kind of, because it's so cheap that if you completely explode it.
Also, if you're new to the hobby, it's actually, and you live in the U.S. That's the key point. Live in the U.S. It is really good. You can even drive in your house. They don't mark the ground or anything.
You made a jump over there.
Yeah,
well, it's not a jump right now, but okay.
It had one, and it's just fun. It's easy to drive. You don't have to worry about crashing because it is pretty durable, like you said earlier.
Yeah, so I'd say about driving probably 7 or 8. What do you say?
7.
Okay, so this is the durability section. Did the car seem strong while driving?
Yes, it's very solid chassis. It is not flimsy in any way. It doesn't bend, because like I said,
it's aluminum, so like
it'll
pretty strong.
Like I said, the shocks may give it a whole look of strength because when it drops, it barely even moves. Like it's ridiculous. Super like rigid. That's so I guess not great for bashing once again.
Okay, what kind of jumps did we do? We did moderate jumps, nothing massive. No.
Well, we did a couple ones that are made for 8-skill cars. Some of them are really big, but we didn't do a whole lot of those.
We didn't do massive jumps, but like we got a pretty good sense of idea how it jumped and how it held up. Yeah. Largest crashes, we do not have them on video. I'm sorry. Like you said before, it landed like this, flipped over, and then
cracked. Yeah,
this cracked.
But I did it many times.
And how did you break the axle again?
The axle, we were down in the backyard of our house. We had this ravine area, and anyways, we had this massive jump that BMX bikers do. And my 8-scale in the slash, you can see them up top. That's what they do. That is those kind of jumps. Not this thing here. I tried doing it the first time, full throttle, but didn't quite make it, and that's how the biggest crash.
And then so how long were we driving? You drove it quite a bit actually. Like you quite have liked it. Like
I'd say
for hours you probably went
12 packs.
Yeah, so probably around 8 hours or something.
Less than that, maybe like 2.5. 8 packs. They don't last these long. These are 2,000 milliamp. They're not 5,000 milliamp.
Yeah, but you probably went for like 4 or 5 hours. Okay. So we didn't drive this car an awful lot, but we got a good sense of how it would perform in the long run. Okay, so now explain. Okay, how they broke part support. We already went over that. It's in Canada. Just forget it.
Yeah.
Out of durability, out of 10.
6
or 7. 6. Yeah.
Is the only smallish kind of car I've had. Well, I've had another 18-scale one that's in a box I took apart. It's in a box. And it definitely beats it. Like it'll definitely.
Yeah, for the price it's pretty good, but like you can't expect to pay around $150 for your car on sale and not break at all. Like
it's not an 8-scale buggy strong. It's a 14-scale small fun car.
It's not a 1-scale car. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's durability. Okay, now for the fun factor. So this is pretty much like, how fun was it to drive? Nothing else. Okay, so
very fun. You always have a smile on your face while jumping in because it just flew so well.
Yeah.
All the other cars out, you have to throttle or reverse or adjust and correct the wheels in the air. This is so much fun. It'll take 2 seconds just to enjoy this. Like
so
immediately enjoy this.
Great fun car. How well could it go on trains? I guess should be in the driving section. We already went over that. It's crap off-road. It's pretty good on-road. Could a standing backflip?
Nah.
No.
Because we can't fit a 3S in it or anything higher than that, so we'd say no. We said anything earlier about that. False.
So driving time to working time, well, those were really, we only only fixed one part, and that's probably in removing around.
It's super easy to fix. Undo two screws, pop it in, pull the other one out. There we go, done.
This is just four screws. Rip it away.
Yeah, so it's really easy.
So I would say probably like 4 or 5 hours of moderate to heavy bashing to about less than half an hour.
Yeah, it's not like a Savage or something like that. It's like impossible to get into those kind of chassis. It's a super easy chassis to work on.
Yeah, okay, so do you think it was worth the money for fun? More than yes.
Definitely.
Like if you drive cars like big expensive cars like over there, this is a great sidecar to have when your other car's breaking or to bring on vacation for fun. Like it can fit in a suitcase. It's easy to bring around. Fit in your backpack.
Look at the size of the box it came in. It's puny.
Like you could fit it in your backpack. Like you could bring this anywhere. So yes, definitely great for the fun. Like we probably rate it $200 for the fun. Okay.
Yeah, it's just you're gonna have fun.
Such a good fun. Okay,
if
so out of 10, probably 8.
Yeah, put it this way: if you're not having fun with it, you shouldn't be doing RC because then you don't enjoy it because this is fun.
Okay. Okay, now for the upgrades for this car. So this section pretty much shows what upgrades we could recommend and what free upgrades pretty much, like what you could do. So yeah, so top 3 upgrades under $5.
There's not a whole lot to upgrade. That's the thing about it. Like, you're only going to buy replacement parts. You're not going to upgrade this because, like I said, it's almost a lot of aluminum parts. And you don't want to make this thing any more heavy or any...
Yeah, so there's pretty much not really any modification that you can do. Other than if your motor gets really hot and you're running on 3S...
Maybe a heat sink.
Then maybe, heat sink's not really a modification. Like, you still have to buy it. But, like, maybe cut a hole in the body or something. But then it would make it look stupid.
There's not a whole lot we need to do. For the upgrades over $5, there's a couple things. First off,
battery.
Yes, you gotta get
definitely.
it to us.
You have to get a battery. You have to get that remote right there.
You don't have to, but it's a good recommendation. You don't need to get a Spectrum DX3X for this $400. Another thing, I think it's actually a little over the $5. It'll definitely help your driving experience if you want to get customized any part of it.
Yeah, so that's, well... you can still program it fine on this, but that just makes it a lot easier, and it's a good thing. So for the absolute best upgrade under $5, like we said before, there's none. So I guess cutting a hole in the body, we didn't do that. But like,
it's not a hole you need to do.
Upgrade over $4, probably a remote.
Yeah, probably. Or
no, actually, upgrade under $5. Soldering this.
Yes, that's
counts
too. Yeah, you have and also if any kind of car you have, I wouldn't recommend any kind of Nitrox. Like these banana connectors, they will melt and they're bad connectivity and all those issues. Deans or Trax, if anything you have.
The two or three best ones are Dean's, Traxxas, and
probably the EX3X or whatever they're called.
Yeah, whatever it was called. Yeah, so.
I forget the other one.
So other notable upgrades. Nothing really. Can't really buy upgrades for this car. Like, there's not much aluminum.
Let's just quickly put in the ratings of this. So we already did similar ratings. Let's quickly sum it all up if you're skipping to this part. For on road, 8.5.
Well, no, okay, we have to go through this. So value, we said
rounded or a little higher probably.
Yeah.
Like 200, maybe 250. I don't know. It's definitely has very good value.
So driving, what did we say? It was
overall average maybe, because if you actually add the bashing and the good together, probably even to put a 6, 5.5.
Durability probably 6 or 7.
Yeah, 6 or 7.
Fun, probably 8.
Yeah, 8 or 9. It's a lot of fun.
So I'm not that good at math, so we're gonna put the overall rating right now. I can't calculate average in 4 numbers, so I think the average would be around 7. But I'll get the exact decimal average right there. And for an overall car, not the average, but what we rate it, what would you say? 7 or 8?
Watch you be right. You're gonna be right. Okay. Final thing.
Wait. What's the overall rating? Without the averages, what? 7.
7.
Yeah, 7.5 or something. Okay, so overall, why would we buy this car personally? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, if you're new or you have some, it's just a fun one to add to your collection. Yeah. It's not gonna be the best, and I don't think it's gonna be the worst. It's just.
But it's a great car for screwing around on massive jumps.
Yeah, if
this thing can get great speeds, flies perfectly. This is perfect for like trying to beat the world record of jumps. Well, not really.
That's a joke. But like if you just want to like if you're worried about breaking the other ones because it's expensive replacement parts, just get this because it's fun. It's not gonna hurt you.
Would you recommend to this to the beginner? Yeah, probably. If
Yeah.
you live in the U.S., the part support is pretty good.
An expert, I don't know.
Definitely not as a main car.
Not as a racing vehicle.
But as a side fun
a,
car, like to bring on vacations. Yeah, sure.
One final additional note I will add, I probably should have put in the earlier section, is the screws on the bottom here. As you can see, they're indented, so you don't have to worry about them sticking out. But I will say that I was really disappointed in this. I was trying to take out the battery tray just so we could try to put 3S into it. I have a pretty good tool set, this dynamite kit, and it's stripped the first time I tried it. The first time I tried to screw it, it's stripped, which is just ridiculous. You shouldn't have to do that. You should have better screws than that.
Yeah, so this car, like, it has its drawback, but it's a great car for its value, and it's very fun. Like, we wouldn't like durability-wise, it's pretty good, but overall, it's a really fun car, and we would recommend this to a beginner as their first car if you live in the U.S. Goodbye, and thanks for watching.
Bonfire.